Sony officially stopped supporting the PlayStation Vita years ago, leaving the hardware for dead. Yet 15 years after its launch, the community transformed this abandoned handheld into a platform receiving more updates today than during its retail life. The decline began when Sony stripped away official store access and deactivated the messaging servers. For most consoles, losing its official network is a terminal event, the moment a device becomes a static relic of the past. But the Vita's industrial design was too good to let go. It featured a high-contrast OLED screen and dedicated dual analog sticks, features that motivated a global network of engineers to save the hardware through sheer physical modification. Modders started by gutting the obsolete 3G modem to install internal SD card adapters known as the PSVSD. They even carved out the internal plastic bracing to make room for massive 5,000 mAh batteries. This animated diagram shows an exploded view of a common hardware mod. Engineers desolder the fragile proprietary charging port, replacing it with a custom USB-C board, and wiring data pins directly to the motherboard to allow universal file transfers. By physically modernizing these internal components, the community effectively broke the manufacturer's control over how the device is powered and stored. A reinforced battery and a universal charging port don't mean much if the software is stuck in 2011. To make the hardware useful for the modern era, the community had to rebuild the operating ecosystem from the ground up. This software revolution was led by an independent developer known as The Flow, who engineered a translation layer called the SO Loader. This flowchart illustrates the SO Loader. Because the Vita uses an ARM v7 processor, the SO Loader intercepts Android application code, patches platform errors, and executes it natively on the CPU. This unlocked a massive library of games never intended for the console, making titles like Grand Theft Auto, Max Payne, and Dead Space fully playable. To manage this massive influx of software, a developer named Renegatamonte built VitaDB, a decentralized repository that allows users to browse and download Homebrew directly on the device. He also curated meticulous custom ports, like the survival horror game Elisa, which uses a custom CRT filter to leverage pure black OLED pixels, mimicking a 90s tube television. These independent developers effectively wrote a new, decentralized operating system that has expanded the console's library far beyond its original retail offerings. With hundreds of new games running locally, the next challenge was moving the experience from a 5-inch screen to a full television display. A developer named Silent Night X addressed this by engineering a custom Linux distribution for the Raspberry Pi called Vita Dock Plus. Users connect their Vita to a microcomputer, like the Raspberry Pi 2 Model B shown here. The Pi captures the raw video feed over USB, applies a Lanczos upscaling filter to sharpen the image, and outputs a high-definition signal directly to a TV. This custom docking solution successfully modernized the hardware, giving a 2011 device the same hybrid functionality that defines the current era of portable gaming. In 2026, the technical demands of these projects require significant time and expertise. To fund that research, the community developed a structured, decentralized bounty economy. On platforms like ZealousChuck, players pool their money to incentivize specific developers. Currently, there is a $595 bounty to successfully port the mobile version of Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. These community incentives have already produced real results. Developer Malone CZSD claimed the first major bounty of 2026 by delivering a functional port of the classic puzzle game Neighbors from Hell. The required engineering keeps getting more complex. Another team took the 2023 Android release of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance and optimized it to hit a stable 30 frames per second on the Vita, including full 2-player co-op support. This bounty economy proves the Vita is sustained by a viable financial infrastructure, where the community directly funds the future of their own hardware. Beyond ports, standard emulation has reached new milestones. Flycast version 2.6 recently brought Dreamcast online multiplayer and save file management directly to the system. For arcade enthusiasts, the EMU for Vita Plus suite now features 120 Hz input polling, a technical update that drastically reduces controller lag for high-precision games. With the hardware and software optimized, the community is rebuilding the network. Players are now logging into revived custom multiplayer servers for games like Killzone Mercenary and Monster Hunter Frontier. The PlayStation Vita in 2026 is a testament to digital preservation. It survives today not because of the original company that made it, but because of a decentralized community that refused to let the hardware die.